Bonjour, je veux réserver une table pour 12 personnes, 2 adultes et 10 enfants et à
The first step in our project was for students to decide which sites they wanted to visit to learn more about the Middle Ages in Paris. So they got out some guidebooks and they searched the internet and they quickly identified locations in Paris. They settled upon the Cluny Museum, Sainte-Chapelle, Notre Dame, the Conciergerie, and the Army Museum. And they quickly divided themselves into groups and decided who was most interested in researching each site and related topics, and then visiting that site on the day of our field trip. The next step in our project was the research. And this was really the heart of my objective in the project, was to help students develop their research skills. So they were graded on the keywords that they selected for their searching, for the research questions that they composed to try and uncover details about the place they were visiting, and as well as related topics. The sources that they used, they needed to use 5 or more sources created by experts in the field. The notes in terms of the quality of the information that was included in the notes, as well as the neatness and organization of the notes that were taken. And so we used this rubric together to assess the research notes that students turned in as a group. Here is an example of some research that was submitted by 2 students about the Cluny Museum. You can see they have their research questions. They have included the keywords they used to search for information about their topic. And they also have a list of their sources that they used to find their information. The final step in preparation for our field trip was for students to create a booklet to guide their chaperone during our visit. So usually it's the teacher who makes a booklet for students when they're going on a field trip, but in this case it was the students who made a booklet for their teacher. So here's the booklet that the students who were going to the Army Museum made. And you can see it requires some sketching and some note-taking and helps the chaperone learn more about medieval weapons at the Army Museum. Students also prepared a Google map that showed the location of the site they would be visiting, as well as the restaurant that their group would be eating in. And students were also required to use Google Maps to locate the restaurant and practice their French to call and make reservations at the restaurant for our group.
Et pour boire, je vais prendre un jus de pomme. Et pour le dessert, je vais prendre une crêpe avec du beurre.
Je mange le salty crêpe trio et le sweet crêpe et le cider glass.
Et toi? Je mange le Bianca avec le noix, chocolat, crêpe et...
Getting a chance to practice our French and spending more time in Paris were really important objectives of the trip. When we returned to school, students were required to create a collaborative project about Paris in the Middle Ages, and they were given total freedom to choose the type of project they would like to make, and also total freedom for who they wanted to work with. In the end, the students created 3 different projects. One was an iMovie that was set at different scenes around medieval Paris. Another was a 3D model made out of clay. And finally, there were quite a few students who decided to work together to create a model of Paris using Minecraft. And here you see a few examples of the student work.
I'm a slave on crusades, but my land is unprotected. What do you mean, thy majesty? Come hither. What do you see thither, on the right side of the bank of the Seine? A swamp and wolf hunters, thy majesty. And I see a weak, unprotected land. What shall we do, my lord? Tower. I shall build a tower with thick walls around it. I shall build the Louvre. No barbarian shall destroy it. Summon the people. Yes, my lord. Will there be enough men? There shall always be enough men. Will it be expensive to build such a tower? Taxes. Make the people pay more taxes. Of course, thy majesty. My plate or chainmail?
Oh, it's so hard to choose. Well, the plate is more protective if an arrow hits you, but if you fall off the horse, you'll never be able to get back up. But then again, if you get hit, it won't get excited. Well, on the other hand, this shows off your eyes.
Dude, look at my skin. It's Assassin's Creed.
I kind of know that.
I'm not sure if you actually did.
What are you guys making?
I'm making the walls.
And I'm making the river.
Which river?
Listen. Oh, I don't know. They just asked me to make one. So start of it. It's not bad.
What is it?
The Notre Dame.
Notre Dame Cathedral?
Yep.
What is that? What is this part?
It's the big one.
The rose window?
The rose window.
Excellent.
Notre Dame began construction in 1163 and only finished in 1272. That's over 100 years of construction. That's why this one here is not done. Notre Dame in French means Our Lady. Next we have the Louvre. The Louvre is our last stop on the French stuff. Okay, on these monuments. The Louvre in medieval times was a giant castle to help protect the city against other intruders. And it was basically a giant forest like this. Okay, thank you.
So that was our unit about Paris in the Middle Ages. Students use technology to improve their research skills and practice their French, and most importantly, to collaborate together and make choices about their own learning.
Okay, merci. Au revoir.